welcome to Significant TV, Significant Stories from Significant Entrepreneurs. And I'm your host, Franne McNeal, and joining me in the studio today, I feel very honored to have Michelle Snow. And Michelle is with growwithsnow.com. That's where you can find her on the web. And today, she's in the studio with me. Michelle, welcome.
Good day. How are you?
Good, good. You know, you look beautiful in the red. Just powerful color.
Thank you. Well, I knew I was coming to a powerful place. I had to show up.
Terrific, terrific. Well, our code word today is significant. So you look significant.
I'll take it.
Okay,
Thank you.
Terrific. So speaking of significant, I always love when I'm talking with entrepreneurs to know what sort of got them on that path of entrepreneurship. So for you, what was that significant moment that made you say, you know what, I'm going to do my own thing?
Well, success, we would love for it to be that straight line. And we just say, we started on this path and we did these 4 steps, Fran, and we got there. It was very, very squiggly, up and down. It took a lot of detours, but where my passion kicked in for, you really need to have more opportunity and freedom to help professionals, is I was in the workplace. I'm an HR girl, right? Human resources. And in human resources, I had the pleasure of doing training and development, which I absolutely loved. And I worked for some very significant organizations. So I found the thing that I love to do. But what would happen, what I felt like was too often, is that professionals who were ready for the next opportunity, they were looking for a promotion, a lateral move, a departmental move, and they had all of the core necessities. They probably had their degree, they had experience, they'd been with the company long enough. But Fran, oftentimes they were put out of the race because of little insignificant matters. And I remember one professional, and I'm still kind of heartbroken about this.
I can sense the tension.
Yeah, you felt that energy raise up, right?
Yeah.
So this particular professional had everything and beyond this role needed. She was educated, experienced. She'd been tenured with the organization. She showed that she could do the work. She'd volunteered. She had everything.
Okay.
And her competitors were good. Her competitors were good, the people who she was competing against for the job, but she was the best. So you would think she would have gotten the job.
Corporate America probably didn't.
Yeah. So the core reason why this particular professional didn't get the job was because she didn't have the look. Oh. She didn't have the
weight,
polished
style.
Yes, it was the corporate department who represented the entire organization. And her number one challenge was she was a very, very simple woman with a weak internal network. And her peers who applied for the job had very strong networks. And they were friends with people in power and position.
Who you know.
Yes.
Okay.
So she was put out simply because there weren't enough people talking about her. And number 2, maybe she could have brought a new suit and maybe
a little bit more.
Up a little bit, right? And so as an HR professional, if I went to her and said, hey, if you think about maybe changing a stylist, have you thought about talking to ABC person and knocking on their door asking for lunch, then I'm at risk because am I being feminist? Am I being sexist? Am I crossing the line? Am I offending this person, right? So I wasn't able to have those kind of authentic conversations.
And breaking confidentiality in terms of,
Absolutely. Okay. So here it is, we lost the best candidate over something that could have been fixed in one day.
Okay.
In one day. And that was when I said, that's it.
Okay.
I need to have the freedom to have these conversations and coach people to a better place.
Okay. So hence your title, career coach.
Yeah, it's self-donned, but you know what? I live it. I live it out loud. I live it bold, and I live it strong. There are many people who don't know what category to put themselves in. And I didn't want to call myself a business coach or just a motivational speaker, because as a coach, I have the freedom to help people in any way that they need it. So while I have the HR experience, I can help the big boys and come in and do your team training and development and your diversity training and your people development, your communication skills. I'm qualified to do all of that. But I wanted in my own business to do two things.
Okay.
One, to say, you want help? Let me help you. Right?
Okay.
I didn't have to have those restrictions that you have when you're married to one particular corporate professional, because you have to stay in your lane and stay with this one typical group. I wanted to break those walls down. So my clients are everyone from the Hilton Worldwide or New Jersey Redevelopment Authority to the young lady who says to me, I can make great cupcakes. And I make them for the block parties, and I make them for my church, and my kids like them, and I can make the little designs and decorations. You think this can be a business? And I don't have to worry about, well, you're not quite in the lane. You need help? I want to give it to you. Okay. So corporate America, while it has been phenomenal for me, I would not trade that experience for anything
Fabulous
in the
experience.
world.
Absolutely.
It was truly what I needed to be effective, because corporate America will teach you some skill sets, both intrinsically and extrinsically.
That's right.
Right? So now that I had that experience, I can go back to the industry and to help my fellow peers who are colleagues there, as well as the little guy who still needs help.
Okay. So you've just sort of expressed that passion, that business passion and purpose. Let's talk a little bit about the results. What are some results that you're really proud of as Michelle Snow?
Well, I had to take a deep breath, because
take that deep breath.
when I started this journey a little over 3 years ago, it was awful.
Well, I thought entrepreneurship was always wonderful. Your own schedule, no boss. Yeah, okay.
All true.
Right.
But all which can be extraordinarily painful, right? So I got out here with all of my big corporations on my back, on my resume. I've worked for this company. I was the corporate training manager. I managed thousands of dollars in budgets. I've traveled the country for these companies hired me, right?
Right.
And the reality check I got was, you did that for them. What are you doing for you now?
Oh, under their brand. So under your brand, you were unproven. Okay.
Yep.
Right.
And I say yep on purpose because it was the shock factor. And so initially, I was begging people to let me coach them. I said, if you just give me $35, I'll show you I can do something. Okay. And I did that just to say, look, see, I know how to do some things. So while I went through extreme financial hardships, lots of tears, plenty of sleepless nights, about 372 new gray hairs, I almost.
That's a very specific number. I'm concerned about that, Michelle.
You said I was counting them.
Right. Yes, that you had the time to count them.
Listen, that's how stressed out and crazy it was. So I went to my family almost by the end of the year and said, this might not work.
Right.
They said, if you hang in there a little bit longer, we'll support you. Okay. We believe that you can make it. And about 60 days later is when I got my first corporate contract. And that was when I said, okay, this might just work. So moving from having about a dozen clients at $35 per person for each coaching session to a corporate client where they were paying me about $1,000 an hour, teaching, facilitating hundreds of their employees in one day, to moving from coffee shops and diners. Let me tell you something, Franne. I was so sick of those diners. If I had to buy one more cup of coffee or a cheeseburger,
it wasn't as expensive.
It wasn't as expensive, but I was just getting too fat. So between running to coffee shops and diners and borrowing from the kindness of my friends who say, come on, I have a back room or our conference room's available, and letting me do that, I was able to finally get settled. And we purchase our downtown suite at the Franne Center at 15th and Cherry. And it was there that I was able to say, we're in business. So for the last 3 years, I would say some of the results, of course, is having these larger clients, to having coached over 130 small businesses successfully, to growing a network from 40 followers at a restaurant, Relish, for those of you who went to Relish with me, to having now about 2,000 supporters. And these people are organic, genuine supporters because they identify as Michelle Snow Network. And I'm so proud of that because people, they don't have to follow you, right? There are lots of people who say, I can motivate you, I can help you. But these people made a conscious decision to say, I want to be a part of what you're doing, whether they're holding my arms up and keeping me lifted because God knows I need it, or saying, will you help me? So did I answer that question?
You did.
Okay.
You did. And a beautiful story. I mean, really a beautiful story about entrepreneurship and about you.
Thank you.
Your website is called Grow with Snow. Tell me why. Briefly, the sort of 30-second version.
The 30-second version? Okay.
30-second version,
Because that's ultimately what I want. If my resources, experiences, can help you to get from one place to the next. That's what's most important to me. Your growing could be from, I don't believe I can do this, I hope I can, to there is possibility or actual measured results. Michelle, after coming to you, I was miserable and horrible at public speaking, but now I'm being called to speak and being paid for engagements. So that's my goal, that you do grow in some significant way.
I love it. And very important word. You use my word.
Yes.
And, you know, you do personally show up at events. I remember one time I was at the Art Sanctuary and I turned around and there was Michelle Snow. I was like, oh my goodness, Michelle. So you support folks. And I think that is a big part. You walk your talk.
Well, what kind of coach are you if you don't go out there and cheerlead your people, right? I mean, coach is a very specific term to describe how you are pushing someone towards their purpose. And while I'm grateful that they come to me and I can give them service that they pay for, sometimes, of course, you know, you have the mother part of you that just want to love on them, say, come on, baby, I'll coach you, give me what you have. But in return, I do show up. It's very intentional. I'm taking pictures. I'm celebrating them. I'm not asking them for money for that. I'm just saying, I believe. I believe.
Terrific. Yeah. Michelle, what a pleasure. I love your energy. That red is a power color, and I know regardless of whatever color you're wearing, you are significant. You are bringing that energy. Thank you for what you do.
It's my pleasure.
It is totally good. All good.
Thank you.
Well, Michelle, where can folks find you? What should they do next?
I'm glad that you asked. We have spent a lot of our time in Center City at 15th and Cherry, but I have good news. I'm doing my own drum roll. We have moved to 1500 Walnut Street. So I'm deeper in the heart of Center City to be able to empower and to impact and to serve you. So you can reach me directly. Go to growwithsnow.com. And you can also call our office at 215-617-4439. But I always tell people the best way to find me is Google Michelle Snow Career Coach.
Terrific. You said it all. Michelle Snow, Career Coach.
Yes.
Terrific. Thank you, Michelle. Really appreciate you taking some time out to be on the show, Significant TV.
It was my pleasure.
Thank you. And folks, again, every week we bring you Significant TV, significant stories from significant entrepreneurs like Michelle. I'm Franne McNeal, your host, and join us next week. Thank you.